Nithyananda. Now we have with us a few participants of the Akashic reading who have had their Akashic reading blessed from Devi Parashakti directly, who have heard and received the blessings from Devi Parashakti herself, manifesting through the Nijavatara, Supreme Pontifical Figures of His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. Now, we will hear from their experience. How did they prepare themselves for receiving the Akashic and how they received it? And they received it when, first to start with, when your name is being mentioned, called out by Devi Parashakti herself, how it feels like. And then when the future or some new beginning is being created, a new life is being created for them, how it feels and how it will be manifests in their life. So let us hear from the participants who have gone through this spiritual reading. Now we have with us Gowri, bharada, ayyar, and Nithyananda Ayya. Are you able to hear me?
Nithyananda Maharaj, yeah, Nithyananda Swami, I can hear you.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us to be able to share in this program with all of the viewers about your experience with Akashic reading. Please, I request you to begin with giving an introduction for yourself, where you are and what you do, and then we can enter into your experiences with Akashic reading. Please go ahead, Ayya.
Yes, Swami. So, my spiritual name is Gauri Bharatananda. I live in New Jersey and I'm a software engineer here. And I've been following Swamiji for at least around 4 years. And this is the first time I've actually had the opportunity of seeing back-to-back Devi Darshan of Swamiji and hear from Devi herself.
It's beautiful, Ayya. And once again, congratulations and welcome to this program. So we'll be hearing from you your experiences. Before that, can you maybe give a brief history of how you came to Swamiji? What prompted you? What was your seeking so that brought you to Swamiji?
Okay, the first time I heard Swamiji was in the context of when the whole defamation thing started in 2000. I mean, I heard in 2012 for the first time, even though it probably started in 2010. And then for about 5 years, nothing much happened. And in 2017, something just happened. I heard a satsang of his and I dropped pretty much everything and attended the program in about 3 or 4 months. And since then it has been like intensifying in terms of my activity that I've been doing. And I also ended up becoming an SJP later on. Yeah, that's like in 2 lines what with my relationship with Swamiji. And then later on, I asked Swamiji that, I want to drop everything and join you. And he said, you wait for it. I will let you know when it has to happen.
Beautiful, nice to hear that. Now, when you heard about this Akashic reading, what first came to your mind? How did you decide to prepare for it?
So, actually, there is no preparation for it per se. If you ask me, like, it just happened. There was no planning, nothing. Obviously, when it was announced that Devi is going to do the Akashic reading, it was pretty exciting and I didn't want to miss it. I just sat down and started doing going through the Preet Satsang, the program, the preparation process that goes on, and as I attended more and more of these pre-satsang preparation processes, there was pardon my French, but the uptightedness that I used to carry has been reducing a little bit. it does help you open up, right? Like for example, and you also notice, like for example, when we are doing different bhava samadhi darshans, after a few darshans, you begin to realize your connection with that form of the divine actually builds up. It gets better and better every time you participate in it. Like for example, like with Subram, when I was not practicing Hindu before I came to Swamiji, like. But I knew about all the deities, right? Because I'm born in the Hindu family and all of that. But Lord Subramania was something that was never part of my upbringing at all. Like, I just knew that Kartikeya was, one of the sons of Shiva, but that's pretty much it. I didn't know that he was worshipped widely or any of that. So whenever the Subramania darshan used to happen, yeah, it was fun, but the connection was missing. Like after going through probably a dozen of the Bhava Samadhi darshans of Lord Subramanya, a few darshans back, the connection intensified. Why I'm saying this was, with Devi, it was a contrast experience. Like I had the first vision of Devi a couple of years back, and when the darshan happened, the connection was always there. But what I didn't anticipate was the connection would get stronger and stronger with Devi, right? So it does make a lot of difference when I was attending this. So I don't have a clear answer in terms of what I did to prepare. All I can say is I just came and sat down. There was no effort from my end.
Yes, totally. I relate with what you're saying. This is a promotion. This is a video clip that we keep playing here on Nithyananda TV, Kailasa's Nithyananda TV, where Swamiji mentions just one or few times you have the darshan and you will be able to create that unique connection with that form, that deity, and you will also see that the deity responds to you. He simply says, just watch the darshan, the Bhava Samadhi darshan, just once or twice, and immediately you will see that the connection will happen and you will be able to relate directly with that form and that deity. And what you are saying is exactly that experience, what Swamiji said will happen. So beautiful to hear that. So tell me, Ayyar, how or when was the first reading that happened for you? And if you would like to share what your blessing request for and what you blessed, whatever you can share with us, please go ahead.
Yeah. If you indulge me for a moment, Swami, I'll just give a little bit of background. So, a couple of years back, actually, little less, about a year and a half back, I had darshan of Devi in a temple, like when I was closing my eyes, and I was not going down to the Devi, I was going down to Radha and Krishna Murtis there in a temple somewhere outside. And then I had a darshan of Devi, right, in my dream. And then that's when I maybe like, I think 3 months later, I got an opportunity to ask Swamiji, and during one of the Ask the Avatar clips that came in on Twitter. And I asked Swamiji, what does this darshan mean? Okay, I'm enjoying the visit of Devi. What should I do afterwards? And that's when Swamiji openly said, okay, it is time for you to pack up and come. And this was like before Corona, just before Corona started. And then, okay, we were going through the Coronas, I wouldn't say ups and downs, ups and normals. And again, with this Devi darshan, when I just asked something, actually, I don't even remember the question that I asked, but Swamiji remembers his commitment, right? Even though we might not. So he in the form of Devi is very clearly, he reminded me and he told me, both of you are supposed to pack up and come. Okay, and your future is at my feet, and it was a blessing for us, right? So, I mean, we were super excited to come. And in the meantime, we were going through our own ups and downs, and he was settling us down constantly. So anything that we would ask, like we got opportunity to ask multiple times, anything we would ask, they would pick it up, address that thing that we asked, but again remind us about our own purpose. So the context here, what I'm trying to convey is, it's a long drawn connection, right? It doesn't start 2 years back. I don't know in which janma the connection started, right? So I can very clearly see that Devi is bringing it to a conclusion, and there are some obstacles that are there, and Devi is addressing those obstacles in a very, for a lack of better word, I'm saying systematic manner, which you don't realize until later. Like I was able to put these dots together, what Swamiji was doing for last 3 years, only through this Devi Darshan. And it was very intense and powerful. You could literally feel the energy, right? When the whole body vibrating, buzzing, words not coming out of your mouth.
It's a beautiful take on it. And yes, yeah, definitely, this has been an experience that whatever you ask, Devi responds from her perspective of who we are. Over many lives, the growth that we have gone through, and we are finally exactly what we need to be doing at this moment, and what actually has to be given to us so we can fulfill our own purpose. And this has been the case that we ask maybe one or two things, and then she showers simply everything, the whole packet, so to speak. She just showers everything on us. And can you please walk us through your particular blessing? I believe you also received the blessing to become part of the Sarvanga Pita. So please share that experience also.
So the Sarvanga Pita, it already happened for me. Like I became a Sarvanga Pita about a year and a half back. So in this Devi thing, it was not about Sarvanga Pita. I didn't ask the Devi for that because the focus on me was just getting to Swamiji's feet as soon as possible. And that preparation process is going on. So all the things that we ask are related to that. So like the patterns that we needed to break, and all those things that the preparation process required, that Devi was guiding for me in this case, like me and my wife. And it's like certain things like are pretty amazing, right? Like for example, certain things which you're battling with, right? Certain patterns that you're battling with. Devi, even though it is said in Tamil, the words that are used are very precise. Like the words that you're already thinking about, or the words that you're relating with very naturally. So it's like I'm hearing things with those words or those in that manner which I would relate to. Like I don't know if I'm conveying it in a very clear way.
Yes,
like
the language that we are able to relate with, and exactly what is going on within you at the moment. And Devi is just speaking the exact same words that will create the right impact and the right life to be born within you. So that's so beautiful. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So that has been so, and like I feel super lucky, right? Like where Devi is consistently guiding us, right? There is no reason for Devi to pick up the same question. I mean, not the same, whatever question she is picking up, and making sure you're guided, right? Literally on a day-to-day basis, that subtle guidance that is supposed to be given to us is being given. Like I would say, like I'm super fortunate that this is happening. I mean, I can't find stronger words to explain that.
That's beautiful. Now, immediately after you receive a blessing, or exactly when Devi calls our name, and then when those words are being given, a new life actually flowers within us. Please tell us how it was for you, exactly when you heard the words, and then how it manifested in your life, whatever you sought, whatever you were seeking as blessing from Devi Fastened. How did that manifest for you?
Yeah, so in this case, I'll tell you. Like, so for example, there are a couple of patterns that me and my wife are dealing with to take the next step happen. So the first time when Devi told that, okay, we have to do this, like the process was ongoing, right, for about at least a year and a half. So I could see the first layer of resistance simply break away. Like it was instantaneous. Like the whole thinking that we had to bring in, it changed. It just I'm just trying to find a more concrete way of explaining. So okay, so so we know we had to drop our fears, we had to drop our patterns, like all those things before. That's the preparation required. First when it was told, yes, so I was carrying a lot of worry pattern, right, that it might or might not happen, and all of those things. Like I've managed to suppress it so deep that I didn't even realize it that I was carrying it. So the first time when Devi very subtly she pointed out, I began to become aware of that worry pattern, right? And then the worry didn't go away; it was still there, but at least now I was aware. Okay, and the second and third time when Devi, like she pointed out the same thing again, like not to worry, I will handle this, right? I could see the worry pattern was coming down, 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 and now I'm at a point where, okay, I wouldn't say worry is 100% gone, but let's say 99% is gone. But what has happened as a result was the surrender has happened, like when on this particular point of going there or not there. So I think from at least so far, my current conclusion is okay. That is what the Devi was. That is what she was guiding us. You know that we need to drop those things, and ultimately the surrender has to come in. And we could see slowly that the transition is happening. Like earlier, I was stuck. How do I break out of this? You know, so that then that stuckness that was there is no longer there now. I don't know if I'm being too abstract in terms of what I'm trying to explain.
That's actually perfect. See, what I can hear from you, what I can make out from what you're sharing is we want to create our reality, and we do have some things we may recognize at sometimes, and sometimes we may not even recognize what is stopping us from manifesting our reality. But when Devi Parashakti, when she gives the blessing for exactly that reality to happen, then all the resistance that we carry within ourselves, all the, you may want to call it self-doubt, self-hatred, self-desire, or whatever it is, the muscle memory and biomemory not cooperating with us, all of that, they become irrelevant because now Devi Parashakti has created that life to flower within us, and the reality that we want to create to manifest. So all the resistance, everything at all, everything that is being stopping us from manifesting what we really want, they all become irrelevant. They become redundant. They do not have any more power within our lives. So that's beautifully said. So please go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. So what I was saying was, so the 3 or 4 times that Devi picked up, right? She repeated the same thing with subtle changes in the wording. Like, yes. Okay, first she told, okay, they're supposed to come. Okay, the next time she said, okay, break this pattern, right? Drop your arrogance, ego, and your scorn. And the third time, she said, yeah, you go talk to your spouse and bring it to completion. You know, so that, but it's like very subtle. Okay, I knew that first. Okay, I learned to drop the first thing, right? As soon as I dropped the first one, the second thing was brought up. So the preparation itself is very subtle, consistent, and extremely guided.
That's beautiful. What normally takes maybe I don't know how many lifetimes for people to go through and go through the completions, go through the sanskaras, go through the karmas and all that. Now Devi Parashakti has fast-tracked that process and very personally guided you through that experience, and within her warm embrace of compassion, ensured that she has given you the right instruction, properly guided you, and given you the energy to carry through that also. So that's so beautiful and so beautiful. Is there anything you would like to share for so many participants, so many viewers? They want to actually receive the Akashic reading, and because the current situation, the current happening in the cosmos, current happening in the whole world is very uncertain. The times are very uncertain. So anything that you would like to share, anything more that you'd like to share for the participants, for the viewers who are watching this?
Yeah. So the whole uncertainty that we see around you, thanks to Swamiji and Devi, was kind of irrelevant for me. Like, I mean, I'm not trying to downplay what others are going through, but it became irrelevant, right? Like when Swamiji, that's what, see, the biggest gift Swamiji gives you is the fearlessness, right? So, I mean, yeah, he might make a lot of things happen for you, but ultimately, according to me, the best thing he actually gives you is that lack of fear. So when you're in lack of fear, then you're not worried about, you know, whether these things will happen or this thing will happen. You're probably, quote unquote, only worried about, okay, how do I make this happen from here to here? It is not about if, it is about how. So what pattern do I need to break, or what pathway should I do? Or sometimes even for many of those things, even that I'm not worried. Like, I'm just okay, fine, let me just go ahead and do it. He will guide whenever he has to guide, right? So now in that, so you can either come with that approach. So you're automatically coming with a very powerful space, right? So you're coming with a powerful space and you're putting in doing whatever you need to do. And when you ask Devi or Swamiji, I'm saying based on my personal experience, when Swamiji or Devi responds, right? When they respond, they will just respond to you, which will lead to a breakthrough immediately. And for that breakthrough to happen, they will do whatever is necessary. It is not we doing whatever is necessary. It is Devi or Swamiji doing whatever is necessary. And it could mean they might just give you a subtle hint, or sometimes they'll be persistent about giving a hint, or sometimes the persistence could be a little bit more tougher, right? But whatever it is, they will do to make sure that anywhere you are stuck. If you need to cross a boundary, they'll make sure you cross the boundary. So if you come, at least from my experience or with the relationship that I have had so far, that seems to be working out very well for me. Maybe others might have a different take, but anyway, that is my take.
Beautiful, Ayyar. Thank you so much for sharing. And once again, we'd like to thank you for joining us and being a part of this session and sharing your experiences with Akash and with all of the viewers. And I certainly hope that you will come back again and share more and more of your experiences with us. Thank you, Ayyar.
Yes.